1, 2, 1, 2. Here we go. Welcome to the Catalyst Podcast, raw, real, and unedited. My name is Jason, and you can find the Catalyst Podcast at Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. You can hear the podcast created through Spreaker on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, iHeart, and Amazon. Catalyst has the power to create change, and we hope that's what this podcast will do. If you would like to be a part of this podcast as a guest or a contributor, you can email us at catalystmotivation561@gmail.com, catalystmotivation561@gmail.com. Welcome, welcome, welcome to episode 41. And we are about to have some fun on episode 41. See what I did there? Yeah, I know, corny. That's okay. Because I know some of you are listening to this and you are probably exhausted. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Our topic is going to be another one of those hip buzzword thingies that's going on right now. Let's talk about chronic exhaustion. All right. We're going to take a deep dive in this topic. So let's get going. Now, chronic exhaustion just isn't like feeling tired after a long day of work. It's that soul-crushing, bottomless pit of fatigue that lingers no matter how much sleep you get. Right? You know the feeling. That one where just the thought of climbing out of bed feels like scaling a mountain. Dr. Sarah Godfrey sums it up perfectly. Chronic exhaustion is not merely tiredness. It's a state of being where you feel like you're running on fumes all the time. Right? But here's the thing. Chronic exhaustion just isn't about burning the candles at both ends. It could be a sign of something deeper. A roadblock keeping you from vibrant and engaged life that you deserve. So the question is, are you just tired? Or is there something more at play? Right? Another question is, why do some of us feel so perpetually stuck in low battery mode? All right. Well, chronic exhaustion can have like a million different root causes. It could be stress, it could be nutrient deficiency, hormonal imbalance, and sleep disorder. The list goes on. For me, it was a weakened immune system, which had me battling between COVID and pneumonias, and I could never get that energy, and so I had to do the things I needed to do. But it could be a number of things, right? But the good news is you're not doomed to this state of perpetual fatigue forever. Right? Let me tell you a story. So, for the first half of my friend, we'll call him Joe. The first half of his 20s, he was the chronic exhaustion champion, right? He would constantly wake up, feeling like he got hit by a truck, drag himself through the day on pure willpower, and then crash on the couch by 8 o'clock. He thought, this is what we do when we get older, right? Everyone felt this way. But I remember he and I sitting down and I suggested that he get his blood work done. Turns out that he had a massive vitamin D deficiency. So once he started supplementing, it was like a magic switch all of a sudden got flipped. But gradually he started to feel more like himself again. And the point is, sometimes a simple fix can make a world of difference. For me, we were getting immunotherapy done, and I was doing immunoglobulin, and I was doing it for a year, and I was still getting COVID, and I was still getting pneumonias, and I was still getting sick. And it wasn't until we went to a pulmonist to see that these viruses were incubating in some scar tissue in my lung. And so we did a flush, a bronchoscopy. We cleaned everything out, And as soon as that happened, it gave the immunoglobulin a chance to really kick into high gear. And the next thing you know, it's really starting to work and it's really starting to make a difference. Same thing. It could be something as simple as that, right? Here's the thing, though. Chronic exhaustion is a signal from your body. It's a big flashing neon sign that says, hey, something's not right here. Don't ignore it because it's not going to go away. So, what can we do about it? And I know sometimes as men, especially me as a man, sometimes I would ignore them, but, now I take the steps in actually addressing them. But in the past, I ignored that stuff. And it almost cost me my life. So, first thing we want to do is always, always, always listen to your body. All right? Listen to your body. Are you constantly hitting the snooze button? Do you crave sugar crashes in the afternoon? All right? These could be clues about what's going on. Second, we need to make sleep a priority. All right? I know it's easier said than done, but even small changes like getting regular sleep schedules scheduled. Schedule sleep. Put a schedule together for your sleep. It could really make a big difference, right? Create a relaxing bedtime routine. I like to, maybe an hour before I go to bed, I'll kind of wind down. I'll go in my room. I have a humidifier that I put on, and then I have these frequency sounds that I put on, and then I'll turn off the light. And once I turn off the light, nothing else is on. There's no laptop, there's no phone, there's no nothing, and I kind of get myself into a state of rest, right? Just to create that whole atmosphere to get me going. Third, fuel your body with nutritious foods. All right, ditch the junk. Focus on whole, unprocessed foods. All right. One of the things I do is I do a lot of supplementation. I do some intermittent fasting. I don't eat from 8 p.m. till about noon, 11:30 noon. The only thing I have is like a cup of coffee. And in that, it's not really coffee anymore because I've replaced the coffee with adaptogenic mushrooms, turmeric. Now, this isn't going to sound like it's great, but it's fantastic. Adaptogenic mushrooms, there's about 15 different mushrooms in there. Some turmeric, some sea salt, chai tea, and I do a collagen powder, 1, 2, 3, 5, and 10. I do B17. It is a liquid that's used with cancer prevention. I also put some MCT oil in there and some sea moss. My energy levels are increased. They're steady. I don't have many crashes. I don't get tired. And it's doing my body a great deal of good. That's one of the things I do and change things around. We eat a lot more fish. We eat a lot more salads. A lot of proteins. Sometimes we'll just go straight carnivore, the boy and I. Again, you want to do stuff that's going to bring that energy level up. Fourth, don't be afraid to seek professional help. Nowadays, it's not as much of a stigma, all right? But it was in the past, Go speak to your doctor. They can help identify any underlying medical conditions and create a personalized plan to get you back on track. Right? Remember, you deserve to feel energized and alive. Chronic exhaustion doesn't have to be your life sentence, okay? So just, listen to your body. Listen to what it's saying. Listen to what it's telling you. All right? The comedian Hannah Gatsby said, when all we have is our own shit to deal with, chronic exhaustion can be your shit. All right? Actress Viola Davis perfectly captured it when she said, "You can always control what happens to you, but you can't always control what happens to you, but you can control how you react." You can't always control what happens to you, but you can control how you react. So, again, how to fight this monster? Listen to your body. All right. Find your tribe. Find your people. There are people who are going through the same thing. Go and find a support group for yourself. Be kind to yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. All right. We're always our worst critic. So give yourself a little bit of grace, right? And chronic exhaustion, it's a monster, but you can fight it. Right? Listen to your body, find your tribe, be kind to yourself. All right? Here's a fun little actionable takeaway for you here, kids. All right? Write down 3 things that you can do today to be kind to yourself. It could be taking a relaxing bath, reading a book for 30 minutes, or saying no to an extra task. Remember, you're not alone in this fight. Keep on fighting. Now, if you're struggling from chronic resources, remember, there are resources available. Reach out to your doctor, and don't be afraid to reach out for help. And don't forget to just be kind to yourself. All right? It's that simple, folks. I think that's one of the biggest things. We need to have grace with ourselves. We need to stop beating ourselves up. We've done it for far, far too many times. So why don't we stop and give ourselves some grace? And with that being said, I want to thank you so much for listening to the Catalyst Podcast. Raw, real, and unedited. My name is Jason. And you can find Catalyst at Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. You can hear this podcast created through Spreaker on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, iHeart, and Amazon. A catalyst has the power to create change, and we hope that's what this podcast will do. If you'd like to be a part of this podcast as a guest or contributor, you can email us at catalystmotivation561@gmail.com. catalystmotivation561@gmail.com. Thank you so much for listening to episode 41. We will see you back again on episode 42. Thank you so very much for listening. Go be great.